Hey guys, so as you can see I've got the camera set up and I got my hands free. Hopefully we can show you what's going on. The garage, it's very messy right now. We got the Jeep in the back with the engine torn apart. We got the original motor to it right here. We're going to be talking about that today. Got parts of the shrine cart over there. You can probably see the frame of it back there. Got it all taken apart, getting it ready for powder coating. But we're going to talk about the Jeep motor today. So it's turned upside down, so in case it looks a little bit different, think about it the other way around. So we're working on getting it cleaned up to send out to the machine shop to have it hot tanked, cleaned, new cam bearings, and have all the measurements done, have the crank ground, mic'd, all this sort of things. But before we get there, we got to get all the old bolts out of it. We want to take everything down as far as possible. So to that end, there's the oil gallery section right here on the inside, and I'll move the camera in a minute. There's a bolt that's stuck in there, and it's actually more of a screw. It's a slotted screw in there. There's no hex to it or anything. It's just a slotted screw stuck in there. It's really, really, really tight. We tried a bunch of things to get it out of there. We put some heat onto it with a torch, penetrating oil. Tried a couple of different things, and it's starting to strip the top of it off. And somebody's been in there before and kind of bunged it up a little bit, so we don't want to completely destroy it. So we're going to be working on trying to get that out. There's a port over here on the other side into the water jacket that has a fitting that we need to get out. It's being stubborn, so we're going to try a couple of different things. But what I got is I got a new tool. So I got an induction heater. So you've seen these on YouTube. There's a couple of those out there. So it's a coil with electronic power supply hooked up to it. So the idea is this doesn't use any flame or any sort of gas or anything coming out of it. This electrical coil resistance gets really, really hot, and the idea is you stick it over a bolt or something, and it gets really, really cherry hot. Get myself back in frame here. So I'm like, well, the torch didn't get it hot. Maybe this will get it hot. And the idea is this should get it a lot hotter than the torch will, so it gets the metal itself hot and goes down in there, loosens the threads up. So I tested it out on this piece of all thread earlier. Put this in the bench vise and stuck this on there and got this. It got this cherry red hot in just literally 15-20 seconds. So I tried putting this on the bolt inside the motor. The problem is the bolt that I'm working with is so small, and this is powered off and unplugged, so don't worry about me burning my fingers or anything. You only have basically the head of it exposed, so when you put this on here, you don't really get a lot of exposure to the coils. It really needs to kind of go over it quite a bit. So it's not really getting it as hot as I'd like to. I'm going to give it a shot here again in a few minutes and see if we can get that bolt out of there. Because I've got that, and I've got the exhaust studs that I need to get out so we can get new ones in there. Pardon me. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, we know that this engine spun a bearing. That's the problem. The reason we took it off the road, it wasn't working right. The number one connecting rod, the bearing spun, seized to the crankshaft. So in cleaning what we can before we send it out for professional cleaning, I was looking in the oil gallery itself, and I found this heavy grease in the oil gallery itself. I found the camera here. And I'm wondering if this is a part of the reason that the bearing spun, that this gunk is blocking it up to where it couldn't get oil flowing all the way through the motor. And this really just seems like it's a heavy grease type of feeling. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I do know that it shouldn't be in there. So we're going to get that cleaned up, get that oil gallery nice and clear, so that when we get it back together and get it running on the road, we'll have nice oil flowing everywhere. I mean, this stuff is, it's thick and it's sticky like tar, but it's a dark color. It's not, all kinds of weird colors. So I don't know if somebody put the wrong additives in there or what, but I think that blocking up that oil gallery is part of the problem. It's probably not the only problem, but it's part of it. So let's see if we can get you a little bit better view of the motor. Try to move you slowly so you don't get all sick. So here's the motor. There we go. And we got our bearing seats here for the main bearings. Let me spin you around the other side here. Okay, so, alright. So here we are. I'm trying to see. This is the bolt that we're talking about. This one right here. That's the one that's being a pain to come out. And as you can see, there's not a lot of protrusion. So getting those coils around that are being very difficult. So we're going to try it again in a few minutes. I'm going to see if I can get a video of it while I'm doing it. But this is what the inside of the motor looks like. And then over here, this is the side. Like I said, it's upside down. But this is the fitting in the water jacket that we want to get out. And we're going to figure out how to get the coils around that without messing up this outer part of it. So you can see the block's all dirty. Once we get everything taken out of it, we're going to send it out for cleaning. There we go. Alright, let's take a look over here. And these are the other things that we want to take out. So this is where the valves sit, the valve springs for part of it. Again, it's an F-head motor, so part of the valves are in the block, part of them are in the head. So these bolts right here, in terrible shape. They need to come out. Get some new studs in there. You can see the threads are all chewed up. We're going to get some new ones in here. There's 2 in here. There should be 3. So all new bolts or studs. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go with that. Get all this old gasket material cleaned off. Everything out of here. Nice and clean. Figure out what color we're going to paint it. And then we're going to block off the fuel pump. Normally it's got a push rod activated pump that's laying around here somewhere. We have an electric fuel pump on the Jeep. We're going to keep the electric fuel pump on the Jeep. So there's no reason to have the pump on there at all. We'll get a block off plate for it and keep the electric one on there. Makes me think, I gotta look and see what's on the other engine over there. I think the other engine actually has a block off plate. I may just steal the one off of that one since that block's junk. But I'm going to close this video out and probably see if I can get another one of using the tool. I don't know if it's going to work. My other idea, I'm just sitting here thinking about this, is I might weld another bolt to the top of that screw that'll give me some height to it and then get that hot so the heat travels down into the screw itself. I don't really want to do that if I don't have to. That may be a tomorrow project when Matt, the young kid who does the welding for me, if he shows up, may have him do that. His eyesight's a little bit better than mine these days. He can get in there and see a little bit closer. Anyway, so I'm going to close this one out. Feel free to comment and like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later.